This is a reading for Gemini. We have the headspace.
Down the lake where the dragonflies play.
The heart space. And what's happening in the environment, or what's happening in the reality. So this is a pretty heavy reading, Gemini. We have the Five of Cups here. So there is grief and disappointment. There's something that you feel like, or there is some type of previous energy here. So this can be a sense of reminiscing. It is one off from the Six of Cups. So there may be a sense here of like something has passed you by, or you're not going to get back once what you had. Sorry, I'm just getting over a cold. So there's a sense of grief here in your mental space, something you're thinking about. But there is a positive aspect to this. There is something that you will be understanding and learning about your emotional space and how much emotions you are willing to take on, or how much emotions you're willing to hold on to, because it feels like with the Ten of Wands in the emotional space, there's a breaking point. You're reaching a breaking point here where the emotional grief is going to become too much. And with the Nine of Swords in the environment, the stress that you are undertaking in your mental space when it comes to the grief that you are carrying, it is projecting into the environment. So there is this sense of negativity causes negativity kind of aspect. So what is this Five of Cups about? What is this grief about? The Queen of Cups. So this could be a person, but it feels like more maturity around your emotions. Having, whatever this is, it's having the strength to be able to process what has happened, because I feel like there may be some ignoring happening, and the ignoring is starting to bubble up to the surface. You can't push a ball into the water and expect it to stay there forever. You're going to get tired. So it's like the ball is starting to resist. And this is about being mature around your emotions. So there may be a sense of like in the past, you may have lashed out or done things impulsively around your emotions, and you're reminiscing about that impulsiveness, wanting to find maturity within the way you're going to handle this situation moving forward. The Nine of Cups here. It's all about finding that maturity and that self-sufficiency. Being content with the choices you've made and not letting the past linger, or the emotional past linger mentally here. Emotionally, you're holding on to this in the emotional space, but mentally it's taking over. So replaying situations in the past where you could have handled it better. There's something that you are wanting emotionally as well. You may be wanting more free time, or you may feel like there is too much pressure at the moment, too many responsibilities. I'm going to go straight to the Nine of Swords in the environment, because I feel like the environment is definitely reflecting your mental space. The Six of Swords. So there may be a transition or a move. Again, some type of transition here. Getting transmutation, transition, transmission. So traveling, frequency as well, radio frequency, songs, memories, voices. There's a move that you are stressing about as well. And there's a question around what would happen if I actually let this go? Sometimes we get comfortable holding on to the negativity because it's what we know, and we don't know what's over the other side of it. It's almost like if we keep holding on to it, holding on to this memory, holding on to this stress, holding on to this reality here where you're overwhelmed, if we keep holding on to this, then eventually it's going to get better. And if it doesn't get better, then I'm going to get stronger. But that isn't the case here. It's like when you lift weights and you're holding onto the weights and you're trying to improve each time. But sometimes it's better to sorry, I'm getting distracted. There's a lot of things happening outside and I get distracted really easy. Sorry. It's very easy to sorry. I'm trying to grasp what I'm saying. And there's a sense of when you're lifting the weights, you think the heavier the weight, the stronger you're going to be. So it's almost like you're pushing yourself harder because you feel like you're going to get a better result. But sometimes it doesn't need to be that hard. So there's a sense of you doing this to yourself. You know, metaphorically, you're going to the gym and, you know, you can only lift 5 to 10 kilos at a time. But you don't want to, say you want to lift 5 kilos, 20 reps 3 times in a row. You're like, that's going to take forever. I don't want to do that. But if I just lift 20 kilos one time, that'll be enough. But you're exhausting yourself and you're hurting yourself by trying to take on too much at once. You need to extend it over a period of time. And because you've always believed that if you push harder or work harder or do things harder the first time around, if things are hard, then you're going to achieve something because you've always believed that. But it's showing the environment you're mentally exhausted, you're physically exhausted because everything is telling you that you're pushing too hard. You don't know how to do it any other way. So if you take some swords away, you take some stress away, and you, with the 6 of Swords, transition here to a place of ease rather than pushing yourself, rather than exhaustion. If you take yourself to a place of ease, you don't know what that's going to look like because you've never done that before. How do you know you're going to benefit from that? So can you clarify this 6 of Swords a little bit better, please? There's also a sense of like proving yourself as well. I don't know who you're proving yourself to, the 6 of Pentacles. So we have 2 6s next to each other. We do have 2 9s in the reading as well. So the 6 of Pentacles here is about sharing the weight or sharing the load as well. Asking for help when you need it, receiving help if you need it. There is a lot of stubborn energy around this as well. Again, you're wanting to do it your way. But when you transition, it will flow a lot easier. And not only that, your physical environment, your time, your energy, your resources, your job, your health, it's going to be a more comfortable space to be in. It's not going to be so stressful, and it's going to feel like things are going to flow. It's going to be more of a ebb and flow rather than a push and pull. So, for example, if we were to talk about this in the workspace, there's something where you're regretting where you are at the moment, and there is this almost reminiscing, but it's reminiscing for a better day. It's something you have experienced previously, so there is reminiscing energy, and you know it's possible, but it's a catch between going forward and moving backwards, so you're kind of stuck in a bit of a limbo. I'm also getting another reading that I did for Gemini a little while ago, where I was using the analogy of like getting off the train. You're at the stop, but you're stuck on the train, and you don't want to get off, but if you can't be caught in the middle either, because that's very dangerous. So again, there's this transition energy, I feel like, Gemini, that you've been in for a while, and you're really getting pushed to get off at the next stop, to go, because it's time to move, it's time to go, it's time to do something different. And you're reminiscing about times when you were mature and things were going your way, and when it comes to your time, your energy, your resources, or job-wise, you're starting to wonder why things aren't working out for you, why it feels so exhausting, why you're pushing yourself so hard. But you haven't quite put two and two together yet. You haven't quite worked out that you're pushing yourself so hard because you're expecting so much of yourself. And it's to prove some type of point here. It's to prove something, but you don't need to prove anything to anyone. And as soon as you step off that train and go on another journey, that's when things will start to flow again. It's not going to be this like, you're not going to be jacked when we're talking about, lifting weights or whatever. You're not going to be jacked tomorrow. Like you're not going to have every muscle that you need tomorrow to work it out, but you're going to feel a lot better when you start actually working out and putting in the work in a more responsible and respectful way towards yourself. And it's not caring about what other people think. There may be a sense of like, again, proving some type of point that you can go into the gym and lift 20 kilos and it looks good. But you don't need to prove that to anyone. You don't need to feel silly for lifting 5 kilos at a time. You don't need to feel silly. Yes, you can lift the 20 kilos or whatever, but you don't need to do that. You can do it, but you don't need to do it. You don't need to prove to people that you can do it. It's like stamina. Yeah. You're trying to run a sprint when this is a marathon. You're pushing too hard too quickly. And you will eventually burn out. And that's what I feel like is happening, because you're ignoring what needs to be done next. The next transition, the next step, which is moving on to calmer places and asking or receiving some type of assistance here, or doing things in a different way that you've done before. Not so much relying on other people, but expecting other people to assist you as well. Expecting from other people as well. There's like, you're very concerned about taking on your own responsibilities, so much so that you're also taking on other people's responsibilities as well, because it's part of your energy at the moment. You don't have to do that all the time. You don't have to feel like you're a burden. You can reach out and and ask for something here, whatever you might need, or expect someone or something to help you. And with the Two of Pentacles, this is what the heavy weight is in your emotional space, because you're wondering, which way should I go? What should I do? There's a choice here. There's a decision that needs to be made. You're struggling balancing your time, energy, and resources because you're trying to do it all on your own. You're trying to do it, you're trying to do everything all at once. You're trying to get it all done right now. And because of that also, because you're trying to get it all done right now, all at once, you're also not getting anything done at all. There's nothing being done because you're so exhausted. So it's a conundrum. It's a catch-22. You're feeling so burdened because you're not willing to drop it. So you're wanting everything done. You're wanting to be able to go to the gym and lift the 20 kilos every single time you go. You're wanting to do all the work on your own. There is also a sense of control here as well. You're wanting to control everything. You're wanting everything to be perfect. You are, again, reminiscing on wanting the maturity to be able to be content enough to receive some type of assistance. That you want it, you're thinking about it, but you're physically not going and doing it. So you're not asking your colleagues or expecting your colleagues to take on what they should be taking on. You're just taking on what they're, you're just doing it without, you're just taking on the extra work without even questioning it. And everyone's expecting it from you, but you're not expecting it from everyone else. You wouldn't go into the gym and judge someone else, but you are expecting everyone to judge you. So there's, you know what I mean? You wouldn't expect anyone to take on your extra work, but you're expected to take on everyone else's extra work. I want to get a little bit more on this, like this memory here, this Nine of Cups, this self-sufficiency and maturity that you are. The Devil, and it popped in the reverse, and the Nine of Swords here. So you're really wanting to release this control. And whatever's got a hold on you, whatever this memory is, it goes back again to, it could be childhood wounds, people expecting things from you from childhood. What's going to be the outcome if you travel along the Six of Swords? Justice. Again, things will start to balance out with the Six of Pentacles. So it's just a matter, I feel like you're almost there. Like you're pretty close. You're pretty close to it. What's this? Two of Pentacles. Clarify the Two of Pentacles. The Seven of Swords. You're worried. I think there's a worry here about being deceptive in some way, or feeling like if you are selfish in any way, then it's going to look bad on you. Or it's like, again, it's like this oxymoron, like you're selfish because you're doing this for yourself, but you're also being perceived as not selfish because you're doing it for everyone else as well. So there's almost this question of what is selfishness? What is true and pure selfishness? Because I feel like you are being selfish in a sense of like you're wanting to prove yourself to everyone, and therefore you are not sharing the load. You are not being fair with the responsibilities and the workload and the expectations and things like that. You're doing it for a image standpoint, but then you actually should be selfish here and take what is yours and not take on other people's responsibilities. So there's a question here around what is too much to ask? What is too much to ask? Because I feel like you're at the point where you're going to start to need to build a community or build something here, or build a reputation where you can start to ask people for advice or help, or just be in that receiving energy where you don't even have to really ask. People are going to start coming towards you. You're wondering whether that's too much. I should be responsible for this. So you feel like you should be responsible for everything, and then you get upset when you're responsible for everything, but then you don't want anyone to take on any of the responsibility at all anyway, because you feel like you're being judged. And this comes from this previous emotional memory that's probably been coming up and you've been thinking about a lot lately, around some type of disappointment, possibly around asking people for advice or help or assistance in the past, and it didn't go your way, or it didn't work out, expecting things to be the same every time. All right, Gemini, I'm going to leave that there. It feels like there is something quite fast that's coming in as well, something to look forward to. There is something to look forward to here. And what you can take from this is that it feels like the only one judging anyone here is you judging yourself. So if you can let go of that judgment of yourself and feeling like you're a burden in some way, I feel like then things will start to move forward. You don't want to end up in a situation where the universe takes over and then you have no control over what's happening. You want to be in control in this situation, because it feels like if you don't start to slow down and take the right steps and stop expecting so much of yourself, you will eventually burn out to the point where it might not be positive. It could be something long lasting here, physically, mentally, or a decision that you're just going to end up with something that you will regret for the rest of your life. And the opportunity here to find that balance and go in the direction here of giving and receiving and feeling like things are balanced and feeling like you're mature and you have what you want out of life, whether you're involved with people or not, things are going your way and you're satisfied with what you have. To achieve that, you need to start questioning why you're so negative to yourself. Anyways, I hope that made sense, Gemini. Thank you. Bye.